Good morning from the Holy Land. That's right. Today I woke up in Israel. More specifically, I woke up in Tel Aviv, Israel's second largest city. This spring, the Israel Ministry of Tourism invited me and a group of journalists to the Holy Land to follow the footsteps of our biblical ancestors. It was a trip full of sights and experiences I'll never forget. Here are some of the things I saw. This is the view from my hotel balcony in the heart of this modern, skyscraper-dotted city. But just over 100 years ago, there was nothing here but desert sand dunes. Then 56 families left the ancient port city of Jaffa, where the biblical Jonah set sail for his fateful encounter with the big fish, to start a new community in the desert. Now, there are nearly 400,000 people living here on the shores of the Mediterranean. From Tel Aviv, we headed up north to Nazareth, the birthplace of Jesus. And we're going to see our tour guide take us through the village as it would have looked in Jesus' time. The people dress here as the people of Nazareth would have dressed over 2,000 years ago. Our guide demonstrated an ancient olive press and showed us a temple built in first century style. Seeing the village as it was transported us back in time. The next day, we set sail on the Sea of Galilee in a modern version of a first century sailing vessel. The crew on board led us in a spirited hora, a Jewish circle dance I've danced many times at weddings and bar mitzvahs. Dancing on a boat, however, in the middle of the Sea of Galilee with people who had never danced it before, that made it extra special. It was jarring to drive south from the lush green Galilee and enter the dry, arid desert of Israel's southeast. The only visible water for miles is the salty and lifeless Dead Sea. Our first stop in the desert was Masada, the fortress where a handful of Jewish zealots in the first century made their last stand against the powerful Roman army. We took a cable car to the top and listened to the sad, tragic story of the Jews who lost their lives here defending their way of life. After a walk through the dry salt beds where the Dead Sea used to reach, I stepped into the water. The deeper it got, the harder it was to keep my feet down. I finally gave in, lying back and letting the water pick me up. There's no feeling quite like floating in water that won't let you sink. But the highlight of our trip, and any trip to the Holy Land, was the holiest city of all, Jerusalem. We entered the city hiking down the Mount of Olives, pausing to pray and sing in the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus and his disciples rested before entering Jerusalem. At the Kotel, the Western Wall, the holiest spot for the Jewish people, I wrote my prayers on scraps of paper and slipped them into cracks, a tradition of the worshippers who come here. At the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, I saw Christians of many denominations praying together in one place, the spot where many believed Jesus was crucified. Walking outside, I heard the Muslim call to prayer. It's incredible to see and hear these religions worshiping side by side in peace. But Jerusalem is not only a place for prayer. It's a place where modern and ancient Israel come together. Walking through the Arab market, you see electronics and jewelry sold alongside spices, nuts, and other fruits of the Holy Land. We arrived on Jerusalem's Ben Yehuda Street just before sundown on Friday, when all of Israel gets ready for Shabbat, the period of rest when most businesses close. The streets were filled with music and dancing as people celebrated the arrival of the holiday. I interviewed a group of Israeli Girl Scouts who shared some favorite things about Israel. What do you love most about Israel?
We like to go to the sea.
Yeah, what else?
Go on trips and...
You like going on trips?
We like the vibe in Israel.
Yeah. What would you tell a visitor to Israel has to see here?
The Kotel.
The Western Wall.
Yeah.
For 7 days, I saw the Holy Land, its extraordinary past, its vibrant and alive present, and its hopeful future. Every time I come here, I see something new, exciting, and inspiring. I can't wait to see what the Holy Land gives me next time.